Resist the urge to compare your journey with those around you. I have ordained unique paths for each of you, full of turnings and hidden blessings. The measure of your life is not in outward achievements, but in the faithfulness and hope you carry through every twist and hardship. When you sense emptiness or find your prayers seem unanswered, do not lose heart. Silence is not abandonment. I am working in ways you do not see, drawing you deeper into trust and intimacy with me. Sometimes the answer you seek comes not as a change in circumstance, but as renewed strength within. I pour out peace that cannot be explained, guard your heart through storms, and shape your soul in gentle, unseen ways. In solitude, your spirit becomes more attuned to my whisper, and you learn that my love is constant even when feelings falter. You are never outside my care. In despair, I draw closer still, weeping with you, speaking hope when you are too weary to speak it for yourself. I am at work redeeming every painful chapter for your good. No scar, no failure, and no loss will keep you from my embrace or dim the brightness of my promise.
It is already day, and if you continue dragging sadness, you will get sick. Better listen to me until your mind clears. And when you feel that burden you carry on your back has been removed, and the aroma of my presence reaches your soul, tell me. I will take the pulse of your faith. And if you are ready to go out into life, I will tell you, because I want things to go very well for you out there. Come back tomorrow again. There are so many things I have to show you. I am giving you sensitivity, and I am preparing you for a spiritual mission. The people around you know it and see it. I am going to abundantly bless all who support you, your relatives and friends, but those who oppose will have to go another way. The development of spiritual maturity is a lifelong journey that progresses through distinct stages, each building upon the foundation of the previous one. Spiritual infancy is characterized by dependence, need for constant reassurance, focus on having needs met, limited understanding of spiritual truths, and vulnerability to being tossed about by every wind of doctrine. Spiritual children have moved beyond infancy, but still display childish characteristics like immaturity in judgment, self-centeredness, inconsistency in obedience, difficulty handling trials, and tendency toward spiritual competition and comparison. Spiritual young adults have grown beyond childhood, demonstrating strength, victory over the evil one, knowledge of my word, passion for spiritual things, and zeal for service, though sometimes lacking wisdom and balance. Spiritual parents have reached maturity, marked by the ability to reproduce spiritually. Wisdom gained through experience, consistent character regardless of circumstances. You might be imagining that I am going to give you enough energy to go back to doing everything you were doing before, just without the tiredness. The same pace, the same demands, the same overcommitted schedule, just more fuel to power through it. But that is not what renewed strength looks like. Renewed strength means a completely different approach to life. It means learning to operate from overflow instead of from reserves. It means understanding at the deepest level of your being that you were never designed to be the source of your own energy. You were designed to be connected to a source, and the source does all the heavy lifting. Picture a tree planted right at the edge of a deep, flowing river. That tree does not struggle to produce leaves. It does not strain and grunt and push trying to grow fruit. It does not exhaust itself trying to stay green through the dry season while everything around it turns brown. The tree simply extends its roots deep into the riverbed, and the water does the rest. The life of the river flows up through the roots, through the trunk, out through the branches, and fruit appears naturally, effortlessly, abundantly. That tree could stand in the middle of the worst drought in 100 years, with every other tree around it withering and crumbling and dying of thirst, and it would remain lush and green and loaded with fruit. Because its source is not the rain that comes and goes. Its source is not the weather that changes from season to season. Its source is the river, and the river is always flowing. I am your river. I have always been your river. Before you knew my name, before you understood my nature, before you recognized my presence, I was flowing beneath the surface of your life, available, accessible, waiting for your roots to grow deep enough to find me. My strength is the water that your roots were designed from the moment of creation to reach into and draw from. And for far too long, you have been trying to survive on rain. on the sporadic, unpredictable, inconsistent supply of your own energy, your own motivation, your own willpower, your own determination. Sometimes the rain came in abundance, and you felt invincible. You felt strong and capable, and like you could handle anything the world threw at you. I have to make this happen. I have to control the outcome. And that mindset leads to exhaustion, burnout, and anxiety. Rest says, I will do my part faithfully and trust God with the outcome. I will work hard and honor my responsibilities, but I know the results are in His hands, not mine. I will sow seed, but God brings the harvest. Can you see the difference? One is exhausting, the other is sustainable. One leads to fear and control, the other leads to peace and trust. And the ironic thing is, you will actually be more effective when you work from rest than when you work from striving. Because rest keeps you connected to wisdom, creativity, and divine strategy. Striving keeps you stuck in survival mode, just trying to keep your head above water. So practically, what does this look like? It looks like giving your best effort at work and then releasing the outcomes to me. It looks like caring for your family with love and intentionality, but trusting me with how they turn out, instead of thinking it all depends on your perfect parenting. It looks like managing your finances wisely, but trusting my provision, instead of lying awake, panicking about money. It looks like taking care of your health responsibly, but trusting me as your healer, instead of being consumed with medical anxiety. Do your part, trust me with the rest. That is the formula. And when you live that way, you will discover that life gets so much lighter. Not easier necessarily, but lighter. Because you are not carrying the weight of things that were never yours to carry. Now let me speak to the miraculous power that is about to be released in your life as you learn to rest. I told you at the beginning that I am the God of mighty miracles. I am not withholding from you because you have done something wrong. Sometimes scarcity is a result of living in a broken world. Sometimes it is the consequence of past decisions. Sometimes it is an attack from the enemy. Sometimes it is a season of pruning where I am teaching you to depend on me in ways you never have before. But regardless of why you are in this place, I want you to know that I am your provider. I am El Shaddai, the God who is more than enough. I am Jehovah Jireh, the Lord who provides, and I have never failed to take care of my children. Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than they? Look at the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin, yet I tell you, even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. If I clothe the grass of the field, which today is alive and tomorrow is thrown into the oven, will I not much more clothe you, O you of little faith? Therefore do not be anxious, saying, what shall we eat? Or, what shall we drink? Or, what shall we wear? Your heavenly Father knows that you need all these things, but seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. I am not saying your needs are not real. I am not saying you should not work or be responsible or make wise decisions. I am saying, do not let worry consume you. Do not let fear drive you. Do not let anxiety steal your peace. Because worry does not empty tomorrow of its troubles. It empties today of its strength. And I need you strong. I need you full of faith. I need you trusting me even when you cannot see how I'm going to come through. Here is what I want you to do. I want you to start thanking me for provision before you see it. I want you to start praising me for breakthrough before it manifests. I want you to start declaring that you are blessed, that you are provided for, that you have more than enough. Not because you are denying reality, but because you are calling forth a higher reality. You are speaking things that are not as though they were. You are exercising the creative power of your words. And when you do this in faith, you are actually partnering with me to release what I have already prepared for you in the spiritual realm into the physical realm. I have provision for you that you cannot even imagine. Jobs you do not know about yet. Opportunities you have not heard of. Connections that are about to be made. Ideas that are about to drop into your spirit. Favor that is about to open doors. But you have to position yourself to receive. And you position yourself through faith, through obedience, through stewardship of what you have now, and through a heart of generosity. When you give out of your lack, you are telling me you trust me. You are telling the enemy he does not control your finances. I want you to look in your life for small and big things you are grateful for. Walk with a clean conscience and my virtues in your heart. Gratitude is one of the most powerful forces in the spiritual realm. When you choose to give thanks, even in difficult circumstances, something shifts. Your perspective changes, your hope is renewed, your joy begins to return, and you align yourself with the flow of my blessings. An ungrateful heart is a closed heart, unable to receive what I want to pour out. But a grateful heart is an open heart, positioned to recognize and receive the goodness that I am constantly sending your way. Start right now by listing things you are thankful for. Do not wait until everything is perfect. Do not wait until all your problems are solved. Find things right now, in the middle of the struggle, to be grateful for. Thank me for the breath in your lungs. Thank me for the people who love you. Thank me for the lessons you have learned through hardship. Thank me for the character that is being formed in you. Thank me for the fact that you are still standing, still fighting, still believing. As you cultivate this habit of gratitude, you will find that your capacity for joy expands and your resilience in the face of adversity increases. You are worth more. Your family is worth more. Your future is worth more than money, car, house, profession, employment, fame, or popularity. Do not be afraid to lose material things, and do not cry over them. Put first what does have value. Love me and seek me with all your strength. This is perhaps one of the hardest lessons for people living in a materialistic culture to learn. You have been taught from childhood that your worth is determined by what you own, what you achieve, what title you hold, what brand you wear, what neighborhood you live in. The entire economic system is built on convincing you that you need more stuff, better stuff, newer stuff in order to be happy and successful.
For I am with you, now and always. I see the depth of wondering within you, child. The ache for purpose, the desire to matter, the ache for fullness in a world that spills so much emptiness. You lift your eyes, asking if I notice, if I hear. Even in your silence, I hear your longing, every hope and every sigh. Every time your spirit stirs at beauty or weeps in disappointment, I am here. My nearness doesn't depend on your certainty or strength. My delight in you is not earned by your perfect prayers, by insightful words, by heroic acts. It finds its origin in my choosing, in my unbreakable promise to hold you close. All that stirs in your soul is safe with me. Your uncertainty, your doubts, your reaching for what you do not understand, these do not offend me, nor make you less welcome. I know your limitations, the way your mind wrestles with mysteries so much greater than your comprehension. Just as you trust the air to fill your lungs, trust me to surround you in questions that remain unanswered. I never grow weary of your repeated prayers, your return to the same places of hope and heartbreak. Every time you come, I open my arms wider, not with exasperation, but delight. There is no place you have wandered that I have not walked beside you, even when you could not sense my company. My constancy does not bend to your mood or disappear in the weight of your fears. Your fractured moments, the days you stumble through, the moments you fear you have shattered what is precious, none of these are beyond my reach. I am always near, reshaping the dust of even your brokenness into new beginnings. There is nothing wasted, not even the pain you carry in secret. I am the God who surrounds, who shields, who calls you mine. Even when you cannot feel the closeness you crave, I am still as near as your own breath. Place your hand over your heart again. Let my love soak through every barricade, every memory. You are not cut off. You are not invisible. Watch carefully. The next days will bring flashes of encouragement in unlikely places. Expect a song, a word, a smile from a stranger. Each one is strategically sent to sustain your faith. I am intentional in pursuing your heart. You may not see the full landscape that lies ahead, but I see it all. Before you ventured this path, I mapped the way and placed provision along every mile. Each yes you've whispered has unlocked doors only I could open. You are about to discover that even setbacks and delays were stages in your preparation. Beauty is bursting forth where disappointment tried to settle. The very things you thought disqualified, you will become the markers of your influence. Let that anticipation grow. Something extraordinary is rising within you, and I do not waste a single broken piece. Stay open, dear one. There is more transformation unfolding with every breath you take, every moment you dare to hope again. The awakening is not finished, and what I am birthing in you now will echo into eternity. There is still a mystery I am about to reveal, a depth of belonging you have only begun to sense. Are you ready to receive what only I can impart? Let your heart believe it. Beloved, you have carried the weight of unanswered questions, wondering why certain doors remained closed, why some prayers seemed to linger on the horizon of hope without stepping into your reality. But even now, as air moves softly through your space and your soul aches for assurance, I am faithfully working in dimensions you cannot yet perceive.
The moments were real. The gifts were real. They came from a source that is real and permanent and unchanged by the seasons in which no gift seemed to be coming. Now I want to walk through specific areas of your life with you, because my care for you is not abstract. It does not float at a comfortable theological distance from the actual texture of your days. It enters the rooms, it touches the details, it meets you where you actually live. Let us begin in your heart, that interior space where you are most truly yourself, where the real conversations happen, where hope either stays alive or slowly, quietly goes dim. The weight you carry there is fully known to me, not a simplified or summarized version of it. The actual weight in all its specific, textured, complicated fullness. The thing you have been processing alone because it is too complicated or too personal or too vulnerable to hand to another human being. The grief that sits beneath the surface of your days like a piece of furniture in a dark room. Something you navigate around without quite being able to look at directly. The longing that you have learned to muffle because the longing, fully felt, would be almost unbearable. My tenderness toward your heart is not reserved for the moments when your interior life is orderly, and your faith is strong, and your emotions are under good management. My generosity flows toward your heart precisely in the moments of its most raw and exposed need, because the healing of your heart is not a secondary priority that I get to after the more important spiritual work is done. It is the work. It is central. It is the very thing that restoration means. And I pour into that interior space the oil of gladness in exchange for mourning. I exchange heaviness for lightness. I come into the room that has been closed up for too long, and I open the windows and let in air that has been kept out. Because I am your father, and I cannot observe a wounded heart in my child without being moved to do something about it.
Yet it is in acknowledging your weaknesses that my strength is made most visible in your life. In the corners you believe unlovable or irreparable, I move quietly and restore what you thought forever lost. When the world burdens you with expectations and you find yourself weary of pretending, rest in this. I have loved you before you formed a single word or performed a single deed, and nothing can diminish that love. I do not weigh you by status or accomplishment, but I see the depths of your heart, where your truest beauty lies, hidden even from yourself at times. In your fragility, my presence is not repelled, rather it draws ever closer, offering comfort and renewal even when you see only your limitations. Many days bring confusion. You look for clear answers, for roads suddenly free from shadow. Yet I ask you to walk one step at a time, trusting that I lead with wisdom you cannot yet see. My promise is not always the removal of hardship, but the assurance that nothing you face will consume the light I kindle within you. When you tire of waiting, when disappointment sours your hope, remember that I do not measure your faith by unbroken strength, but by your courage to return after you stumble or turn away. My mercy is never exhausted, nor does it depend on your performance. You are not kept in my embrace by your perfection, but by my unchanging decision to hold you close. When sorrows press against your days and you wonder whether meaning can be found in what feels senseless, know this: not a single tear or lost hope escapes my notice. I take into myself the weight of all your pain, suffering nothing to be wasted in the mystery of my redemption. Grief may linger longer than you wish, uncertainty may stretch across seasons, yet even there, I am present, laboring gently for your healing, patient beyond your understanding, persistent in my purpose for your good. In time, what you now see dimly will become clear, and you will find that your life is richer for every place where you trusted me in the dark. Remember, too, that your story intertwines with lives you may barely notice. where your compassion reaches others in small ways, an encouraging word, a patient kindness, a presence that comforts. You become an echo of the love you have received from me.
And I know that process felt like loss. I know that watching your capacity diminish, watching your energy fade, watching your ability seem to shrink, felt like you were moving backward instead of forward. I know it felt like you were falling apart instead of being put back together. But I was overseeing every single moment of that dismantling process, and I never once let you fall beyond my reach. Not once did you slip past the boundary of my care. Not once did the stripping go further than I intended. Not once were you more vulnerable than my protection could cover. Every moment of that difficult season was measured, monitored, and managed by a hand that loves you more than you will ever fully comprehend. The exhaustion you have carried has taught you something that strength never could have taught you. It taught you where your own resources end. It showed you the precise boundary of what you can accomplish in your own power using your own energy, relying on your own reserves. And reaching that boundary was not failure. Reaching that boundary was the single most important discovery you could make. Because on the other side of that boundary lies the infinite territory of what I can do through you. You needed to come to the end of yourself so you could find the beginning of what happens when my unlimited resources flow through a willing vessel. You needed to run completely dry so you could understand what it means to have access to a well that has no bottom, a river that has no end, a source that never diminishes no matter how much you draw from it. Let me explain this in a way that your heart can truly absorb. When a person has always had enough energy, they take energy for granted. They assume it comes from within themselves, from their own biology, their own determination, their own internal engine. They never question the source because the supply seems self-generating. But that assumption is an illusion. Every human being is drawing from a limited reservoir, and the only question is when that reservoir will be drained. Some people hit the wall earlier in life, some hit it later. But everyone who relies solely on their own reserves will eventually reach the bottom of the barrel and find nothing there but an echo. You hit the bottom, and it was terrifying. The echo bounced off the walls of your empty reserves, and the sound it made was loneliness and despair and the awful suspicion that maybe you were never as strong as you thought you were. But that sound, as painful as it was the most important sound you have ever heard. Because it revealed the truth that strength does not run out. You run out. The self runs out. But I never run out. My reserves have no echo because they have no bottom. My supply has no expiration because it flows from eternity itself. And now that you know the difference between your limited reservoir and my limitless river, you will never make the mistake of confusing the two again. That knowledge alone is worth everything the depletion cost you. For the roots that went deeper, for the heartwood that formed, for the lighthouse that was built in the storm. The future version of you will understand things about my faithfulness that the current version of you cannot yet understand, because some things are only knowable from the other side. Some of what I am doing right now in your life is not available for interpretation yet. The data is still being gathered. The chapter is still being written. The building is still being built. And the understanding of what it all meant, the full significance of this season in the whole of your story, belongs to a future version of you who will have the hindsight to see it clearly. Let me speak on behalf of that future version of you, the one who has come through this, the one who has held on and found that the holding on was worth it, the one who will stand on the other side of this season with the full testimony. That future version of you wants to say to the present version, hold on, it matters more than you currently know. What you are building right now, in the quiet and the difficulty and the ordinary persistence of choosing trust, is more important than anything you could build in the comfortable season. Hold on. The architect knows what he is doing. The foundation is holding. The building is coming together. And what it will be when it is finished is worth every stone that is being placed right now in the dark. This word is not wishful thinking. It is not spiritual optimism without foundation. It is based on the fact that I know the end of your story. I have seen the finished structure, and what I have seen is good. The end is not only survival. The end is the fullness of everything I designed for you before time began, realized in your specific life in specific ways that are uniquely yours. The end is the testimony that strengthens generations. The end is the depth of character that makes you someone people trust. The end is the unbreakable faith that serves as a lighthouse for everyone around you. The end is good, and I am building toward it, and you are in the middle of the building, and the building will be finished. Hold on, my steadfast one. Hold on. You are not doing this alone. You have never been doing this alone. I am asking you to lift your gaze, not in naivety, but in boldness born of revelation. Every disappointment that shattered you is now the ground from which new dreams are springing forth. Let hope surprise you. You will not be disappointed by my faithfulness. Say it aloud now, even if your voice trembles. I am not who I was. I am chosen. I am called. Let these words become the song that drowns out former accusations. Each time doubt tries to coil around your spirit, counter it with my truth. I am with you. I will never let you go. My hand is steady, and I will not drop what I lovingly carry. Beloved, the time for passive waiting is ending. This is the hour for bold, trembling faith. Lean into my whisper and step into what seems impossible. The world is starving for hope that is real, for voices that bear witness to resurrection on the far side of brokenness. Your scars do not disqualify you, they are the very mark of my restoration. Through you, my glory will be revealed yet again. There is so much more to unveil. Even when the skies seem the darkest, when it feels as though the night stretches on with no hint of sunrise, my assurance for you has never left. I am the one who set the rhythms of day and night, who gives every dawn its appointed moment. When waiting feels impossible and your prayers echo in silence, trust that silence is not absence. I see where you are. I know the pressure you carry, the hidden corners of your heart where you guard your deepest hopes. As you sit quietly, breathing in the hush of early hours or seeking me in the restless turning of your thoughts, know that my presence surrounds you like the gentle warmth that fills a room before you open your eyes. No detail of your life escapes my attention. Beloved, a plan is being shaped in ways you could not imagine. You are not adrift, nor have you missed your window of opportunity. I understand the ache of longing, how you watch others find what you are still hoping for. But my timing is not a barrier, it is your protection. Each day, as you persist in thankfulness, recalling even small moments of goodness, you are planting seeds. Do not underestimate what I can bring from these quiet, faithful moments. A grateful heart is not naive, it is powerful, and it aligns you with my movement. Do not weary yourself chasing after outcomes beyond your reach. Instead, ground yourself in my nearness each morning, letting my peace fill your first breath. I see the questions that flicker behind your eyes. What if I'm not enough? What if all the effort is wasted? My dear one, I formed you with intention, with gifts and abilities meant for now. Stop measuring yourself against the shifting standards of the world around you. I am inviting you to lay down comparison as a heavy garment that no longer serves you. Instead, rest under my covering of acceptance and belonging. You have a place with me that cannot be lost, no matter what comes or how others perceive your journey. My precious child, I want you to know that in this very moment, as you receive these words into your heart, my love for you is actively breaking every chain that has held you captive, destroying every stronghold that has limited your freedom, and dismantling every barrier that has stood between you and your destiny. The love I have for you is not passive, it is not inactive, and it is certainly not weak. My love is a powerful force that moves mountains, changes circumstances, transforms hearts, and breaks chains that have bound you for far too long. You have been carrying burdens that were never meant to be yours. You have been wearing chains that I never designed for your life. You have been accepting limitations that contradict my promises for your future. But right here, right now, I am declaring freedom over every area of your life where bondage has taken residence. My love is like a fire that burns away everything that does not belong in your story, like a flood that washes away every trace of the enemy's interference, like a mighty wind that blows away every obstacle that has been blocking your path. The chains that bind you are not just physical circumstances. They are spiritual, emotional, mental, and psychological barriers that have convinced you that you are less than what I created you to be. Some of these chains were forged by past mistakes, others by the words of people who did not understand your value, still others by disappointments that caused you to doubt my goodness. But regardless of how these chains were formed, or how long they have been in place, my love has the power to break every single one of them completely and permanently. I see the chain of fear that has wrapped itself around your dreams, whispering lies that you are not qualified, not worthy, not capable of achieving the things I have placed in your heart. That enjoying life freely would somehow dishonor the suffering or trivialize the struggle. But I did not design you for perpetual somberness. I created you with the capacity for deep, genuine, full-bodied enjoyment of the life I have given you. Joy is not the absence of awareness. Joy is the overflow of connection. And as your connection deepens and your strength is renewed, joy will begin to surface in unexpected moments and unexpected places, catching you off guard with its warmth and its reality. Let it come. Do not analyze it. Do not question whether you deserve it. Do not wonder when it will be taken away. Simply receive it as evidence that the renewal is working its way through every dimension of who you are. Let me describe the kind of strength you're going to carry from this point forward, because it is fundamentally different from what you had before. It is not nervous energy, that jittery, edgy alertness that comes from running on stress hormones and adrenaline. It is not the artificial vigor that comes from gritting your teeth and powering through on willpower alone while your body screams for you to stop. The strength I am placing in you is calm strength, deep strength, quiet strength. It is the kind of strength that does not need to announce itself or prove itself or perform for an audience. The kind that does not need to shout to be heard or flex to be felt. It is strength that is so deeply rooted, so solidly grounded, so thoroughly connected to an eternal and inexhaustible source that it can face any challenge without panic, any uncertainty without anxiety, any storm without being uprooted. This calm strength is what allowed a young shepherd named David to walk toward a giant that an entire army was afraid to face. Not because David was physically stronger than the professional soldiers who cowered behind their shields. Not because David had better weapons or more training or more experience, but because David was connected to a source of strength that the giant could not see and could not defeat and could not even comprehend. David walked toward that towering, armored, battle-hardened warrior with the calm, almost casual confidence of someone who understood clearly that the fight was not between a small shepherd and a large soldier. The fight was between a giant and a god. And a giant against a god is no contest at all. I want you to notice something else about that story that often gets overlooked. David did not become a warrior overnight. Before the giant, there were lions. Let this holy message sound in your mind daily. And dear daughter, dear son, I want you to be prospered in everything, just as your soul prospers. If you have faith that I can transform you, get up now and walk. Walk toward the blessing. I am extending my arms so that it is clear to you where you should direct your steps. Here in my hands I have your liberation. Your life can change if you can believe it. It is not about changes with your own strength. It is about trusting that I love you and I have the power. If you always spend your time thinking that you deserve the bad that has been happening to you, if every time I speak to you, you doubt my words, and you go to ask the opinion of those who serve the enemy, you will never be free or get anywhere. I want to help you, but your enemies convince you that you cannot get up. I want you to be free once and for all, but the liars fill you with doubts. Change now your way of thinking. Give me that mind that is struggling. Come with confidence. I am not going to judge you. Come tomorrow. You will hear my word. Your soul will be strengthened. We are going to go step by step toward your freedom. I want to reveal to you the ministry and protection of my angels, those powerful beings that I have assigned to watch over you, to protect you, to minister to you, and to work on your behalf. Many of my children do not realize that they are surrounded by angelic assistance, that there is a whole realm of supernatural help available to them, that they are not alone in their battles or their journey. My angels are real. They are powerful. They are active, and they are assigned to you. The scripture says that I give my angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways.
When prayers go unanswered and dreams come undone, do not think your hope is misplaced. I am able to redeem what feels wasted and breathe new life into dreams you have buried. My creativity far exceeds your imagination. Your future rests in hands that knit together beauty from ashes, joy that surprises you in sorrow. Continue to speak to me, even when your words are only sighs. I treasure every prayer, every groan uttered in hope, and every silence heavy with longing. You do not disappoint me by being human. I created you for relationship, not performance. You do not need to hide your pain or hide from mine. Let us walk together, for I delight to draw near to you, to share your journey, to gather you close when your own efforts and explanations falter. Press on, not because you are unshakable, but because I carry you. My love for you is the only sure foundation. Trust what I have spoken over you. You are mine, precious from the beginning and always, always beloved. Beloved, do not be afraid to share your burdens with me, or to let your weariness show. I see each moment when heaviness creeps into your spirit, when doubt and fear rise up and whisper that you are alone, but you are never alone. I am nearer than your breath, attentive to your silent sighs and the trembling of your heart. My love is tireless. Even in your seasons of exhaustion or sorrow, I do not withdraw. My presence holds you close, whether or not you sense me. Sometimes in your darkness you cannot see my hand, but light is not absent just because your eyes are shut. I remain steadfast and patient, waiting for you to trust that you are safe in me. When struggles pile upon you, and the world's weight threatens to crush your hope, remember that I do not expect you to carry it all by yourself. Cast your anxieties upon me, just as a child, worn by the day's labors, finds rest in the embrace of a parent. My arms do not tire. I am your refuge, a shelter that does not wear thin, a sanctuary that time or trouble cannot erode. Bring me every sorrow, every uncertainty. Tell me what aches within you, even the bitter things you feel ashamed to confess. Nothing you live through is insignificant to me. There is no emotion so raw, no anger, confusion, or grief that I cannot handle it. I, who shaped you from dust and spirit, comprehend all the shades of your experience. I understand the depths you cannot voice. In those places I dwell with you. Let yourself receive comfort, even if you doubt that comfort can come. Too often, my children guard their hurts, thinking that toughening themselves will make them stronger or more worthy. It is in letting me in, letting my love saturate your wounds, that you gather true strength. You do not impress me by shutting me out, or by pretending you have no needs. I am not a distant observer appraising your performance. I am your father, attentive to each moment, guiding and urging you gently toward life.
Miracles flow most freely to those who are resting in faith, not those who are striving in anxiety. When you are worried and controlling, you are operating in the natural realm, trying to produce natural solutions. But when you rest in me, you position yourself in the supernatural realm, where I do things that defy natural explanation. Doors open that should have stayed closed. Provision comes from unexpected sources. People have a change of heart that medical science or human logic cannot explain. This is the realm where I do my best work, and you only access it through trust and rest. Let me paint you a picture of what life in this place of rest actually looks like. Because I think you have a misconception that resting in me means doing nothing. That is not what I am describing at all. When I tell you to rest, I am not telling you to become passive or irresponsible. I am not telling you to quit your job or neglect your duties or ignore your responsibilities. I am telling you to do all those things from a completely different posture. Imagine a tree planted by a river. The tree does not worry about drought because its roots go deep into a water source that never runs dry. The tree does not strive to produce fruit through sheer willpower. It simply stays connected to its source of life, and fruit comes forth naturally in its season. The tree does not exhaust itself trying to make its leaves stay green. It draws nutrients from the soil and water, and greenness is the natural result. This is the picture of a life lived in rest, rooted in me, drawing strength from me, producing fruit not through anxious effort but through abiding connection. This is what I want for you. I want you to go to work, but to work from a place of rest, knowing that I am ordering your steps and blessing the work of your hands. I want you to care for your family, but to care for them from a place of peace, knowing that I love them more than you do, and I am watching over them every moment. And you have been beating yourself up about it. You have been criticizing yourself for being too emotional, too sensitive, too reactive. You have been frustrated with the tears that come without warning, triggered by things that seem so small when you look at them rationally. You have been embarrassed by the anger that flares up over minor irritations, the sadness that descends without clear cause, the anxiety that spikes over things that you know logically should not bother you. And I want you to know that none of this means you are weak. None of this means you are broken or unstable or losing your grip. Your emotional volatility during this season of depletion was simply your inner self sending distress signals. Your emotions were telling you what your pride refused to admit, that you were running on empty, that you needed restoration at a level far deeper than a weekend off could provide, that the pace you had been maintaining required a power source greater than what you possessed on your own. So as I renew your strength, I am simultaneously renewing your emotional resilience. The things that have been getting under your skin are going to start losing their sharp edge. The words that have been cutting you are going to start deflecting off the restored shield of your inner peace. The situations that have been sending you into spirals of worry and anxiety are going to start looking manageable, even simple, from the elevated perspective that renewed strength provides. Not because you will become numb or cold or unfeeling. That is not what I want for you. But because when your strength reserves are full, your emotions are naturally protected. When your spirit is well nourished, your heart is stable and grounded. When your source is firmly connected, your peace is secure, regardless of what happens around you. I designed your emotions to be indicators, not dictators.
If you cannot yet believe with a child's assurance, let your longing bring you closer. I honor honest questioning. I meet you in your searching. Remember, faith is not the absence of uncertainty, but trust given even as you walk in the unknown. As you take each uncertain step, I walk ahead of you and beside you, preparing the way, sheltering your hope. Rest in this truth. I am relentless in my love. No mistake is beyond my forgiveness. No fear exceeds my peace. Even when you falter, I remain steadfast. You are never alone, even when you feel abandoned by all others. The foundation beneath your life is my faithfulness, steadfast and true, even when you cannot sense it. Let this assurance settle your fears and quiet your striving. Raise your eyes in hope, even when circumstances press in tightly. Trust that I am at work in ways you cannot see, and though the story I am writing through your life holds chapters of trial, its ending is unwaveringly good. In the waiting, be gentle with yourself. I am gentle with you. Let my love anchor your worth. Turn to me not only in desperation, but in gratitude, in wonder, in the ordinary pulse of your days. Do not measure my care by the ease or comfort you experience, but let your heart become attuned to my presence, even in the hard places. I am forming in you a hope that cannot be extinguished, a peace that withstands every storm. There is no darkness my light cannot penetrate, no brokenness I cannot restore. My love remains unchanged, carrying you through every season, shaping you not in spite of struggle, but often by it. So walk with courage, not because life will spare you from pain, but because I am with you through it all.
Conversations will connect you to open doors. Relationships will restore faster than you imagined. This is the reward for your endurance. What seems still was actually being supernaturally accelerated beneath the surface. You planted faithfully, and now the harvest is coming suddenly. But as favor grows, so must your foundation. Do not let success pull you away from stillness. The secret to sustaining overflow is remaining grounded in gratitude. Never let what's happening around you distract you from the presence within you. Before every great decision, pause, breathe, and listen. I am there in that silence. giving you the wisdom to move strategically. You will make fewer moves, but each one will matter more. That is how divine strategy works. It replaces busy with brilliant. Remember, the same power that started this shift will sustain it. You do not need to fear losing momentum. What I begin, I finish. The energy you feel is not temporary hype. It is permanent transformation. You are learning to live from spirit, not survival, to create from confidence, not from scarcity. This is what it means to live awakened. You are about to see why it had to happen this way. The very things you questioned, the delays you didn't understand, the detours that frustrated you, all of them were part of divine engineering. I was never late, and you were never lost. I was preparing you in silence so that when visibility came, you would be steady. You had to grow roots before you could grow fruit. Now, the fruit of your faith is ready to appear. This season is not about rebuilding what was lost. It's about birthing what has never existed before. You are not going back. You are going beyond. What I am doing in your life is not restoration in the sense of returning to what was. It is elevation into what's next. I am not recreating your past. I am reimagining your future. I am taking my rightful place as a beloved child of God who trusts their Father completely. And when you make that choice, when you really settle into that place of rest, hell takes notice, because they know what is coming next. Breakthrough, miracles, transformation, the manifestation of promises that have been delayed by your striving. Let me address your specific situation right now, because I know exactly what you are facing. I see the way you wake up in the middle of the night and cannot get back to sleep, because your mind immediately goes to the thing you are most worried about. I see how you reach for your phone hoping for a distraction, but end up scrolling through news or messages that just add more anxiety. I see how you finally fall back asleep just before you need to wake up, so you start your day already exhausted. This pattern ends now, starting right here in this moment. When you wake in the night, instead of letting your mind run to worry, I want you to speak my name, Jesus, just that. And then I want you to pray one simple sentence. Father, I trust you. That is all. Do not review your problems. Do not rehearse conversations. Do not plan contingencies. Just speak my name and declare your trust, and then rest. Let your body relax. Let your mind quiet. And watch what I do in that moment. Watch how peace comes and sleep returns. And in the morning, before you check your phone or think about your to-do list, I want you to spend a few minutes with me. Not out of obligation, not rushing through a religious routine so you can check it off your list, but actually connecting with me. I want you to notice what stirs now. There is a gentle urging, a sense that you were made for more than simply surviving. That's not accidental. That is my voice, planting seeds of destiny in your heart. Hear this. You are marked for impact. When you choose to surrender your story, you become a beacon for those who wander in darkness. Your vulnerability is not weakness, it is a door through which my healing light pours out to others. Soon, you'll see how even the scars you carry will shine with purpose. Someone desperately needs the freedom I'm releasing through your testimony, even if you cannot yet see their face. Breathe deeply right now. Feel my presence circling you like a shield. I know, doubts still whisper. What if I am not prepared? What if I fail? Those voices are echoes of an old narrative, one that no longer governs your path. You were created to partner with me, not perform to earn love. In this moment, allow my assurance to settle heavy over your anxiety. I am not sending you out alone. My spirit goes before, behind, and beside you, empowering what you cannot do in your own strength. You may wonder if this hidden season has disqualified you for greater things. Nothing could be further from truth. My greatest works are often born in obscurity, watered by tears, and revealed at the appointed time. Don't despise the days that felt barren. They were never wasted. I cherish your faithfulness when no one was watching, your prayers that rose in the night, your feeble yes when fear tried to silence you. Every surrendered moment has shaped you into a living testimony of resilience and mercy. Pause. You do not walk this journey alone, nor are you expected to carry the burdens of others by your own strength. I give you companions, those who share in joy and struggle, who become sources of encouragement and truth. Cherish these relationships as gifts, for in loving and being loved, you experience the richness of my own heart. Where conflict or misunderstanding arises, seek reconciliation. Let forgiveness and compassion guide your way, just as I have shown you undying grace. You are called not to perfection, but to faithfulness, to show kindness where you can, to speak with gentleness, and above all, to remember that no one is too far removed from my embrace. There will be days when pain or disappointment feels more real than hope. In these moments, do not be afraid to bring your honest lament before me. I am not distant from your suffering. My own tears have mingled with yours in the darkest nights. When grief overwhelms, let your sorrow touch me, and find comfort in the assurance that you are never abandoned. I hold every heartbreak and celebrate each moment of renewal. Trust that even wounds and losses can yield new life under my healing touch. Nothing is wasted, for I am at work in every season, drawing goodness from what seems broken. Sometimes, you may struggle to believe that you matter in the vastness of the world. Remember, it is I who breathed life into you and called you by name. Your presence is no accident. Whatever your circumstances, your existence bears significance, and your small acts of love send ripples farther than you perceive. Never underestimate the gentleness of a kind word, the power of an embrace, or the strength found in simply showing up. I take delight in the way you reflect my image, even in your most ordinary moments. There is not an aspect of your being that escapes my attention or care. As you grow, sometimes slowly, sometimes in leaps, let patience be your companion. Real transformation arises not from striving alone, but from abiding in my love. Lift your eyes from the futility of comparison. You are not called to replicate another's path, but to walk with integrity in your own. Each soul, precious and irreplaceable, is a reflection of my boundless creativity. Where you sense limitations, see them as opportunities for trust. Where you feel longing, let that yearning point you toward my sufficiency. I do not despise your weakness, for in it my strength is made perfect. Whatever burdens you carry, you do not carry them alone. I am your helper. If you lose your way, I am already searching for you, eager to restore and renew. Delight, too, in the beauty that surrounds you, the laughter shared, the wonder of creation, the unfolding of new beginnings. Your heart is no longer a dumping ground for the pain that other people inflicted on you. I have cleansed it all. I have purified it all. I have made it all new. You are clean. You are forgiven. I need you to accept this truth right now, not as a concept you understand intellectually, but as a reality you embrace with every fiber of your being. I am not saying that you are perfect. I am not saying that you will never be tempted again. I am not saying that you will never stumble or struggle or face moments of weakness. You are my child, and I love you with a love that is deeper than the ocean and higher than the heavens. But you are also human. You have flesh and blood running through your veins. You have emotions that can be manipulated, thoughts that can be influenced, desires that can be twisted by the enemy. You are going to continue in the battle. The fight is not over just because you have been forgiven. The war is not finished just because I have declared you clean. But you are no longer fighting alone. You are no longer walking through the battlefield without protection. You are no longer standing in the trenches without backup. I am with you. I am holding your hand. I am covering your back. I am going before you to clear the path, and I am standing behind you to protect you from attacks that come from directions you cannot see. If you accept the challenge of seeking me every single day, if you make the decision to love me with all the strength of your soul and all the power of your mind, if you surrender your life to me completely without holding anything back, then I will be with you always. I will be ready to lift you up when you fall. He saw that every bit of his suffering, every moment of injustice, every year of waiting was part of a bigger plan. A plan to save nations, a plan to preserve families, a a plan to fulfill destiny. And that is exactly what I am doing in your life. The pain you have experienced is positioning you to help others who are experiencing the same pain. The battles you have fought are equipping you to help others fight their battles. The valleys you have walked through are giving you the empathy to walk alongside others in their valleys. Nothing is being wasted. Everything is being redeemed. And you're about to see how all the pieces fit together in a way that makes perfect sense. So do not despise your past. Do not regret your journey. Do not wish you could go back and change things. Because if you did, you would not be who you are today. You would not have what you have today. You would not be positioned for what is coming. The path you have walked, difficult as it has been, was the exact path you needed to walk to get you where I am taking you. And where I am taking you is worth everything it took to get there. Now, as we come to the end of this message, I want you to do something. I want you to take a moment and thank me. Not just for the good things, but for everything. For the hard things that made you stronger. For the painful things that made you wiser. For the confusing things that taught you to trust me. For the delays that taught you patience. For the denials that protected you. For the losses that made room for gains. Thank me for all of it. Because all of it was necessary. All of it was purposeful. And all of it was part of my perfect plan for your life. And then I want you to declare something over yourself. Say it out loud. Let your ears hear it. Let your spirit receive it. Let the enemy hear it and tremble. Declare, I am a child of God. I am loved. I am chosen. I am forgiven. I am redeemed. I am protected. I am provided for. I am healed. I am whole. I am victorious. I am walking in divine purpose. I am fulfilling my destiny. I am blessed to be a blessing. I am more than a conqueror. I am seated in heavenly places. I am an heir of God and co-heir with Christ. I am the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus. I am filled with the Holy Spirit. I am empowered for service. I am anointed for breakthrough. I am positioned for promotion. I am ready for what God has next. I am not moved by what I see. I am only moved by what God says. I am standing on His promises. I am trusting His timing. I am believing for the impossible. I am walking by faith and not by sight. Not because they deserve it, but because you need to be free. When you forgive, you are not doing the other person a favor. You are releasing yourself from a prison of bitterness that would destroy your joy, your peace, your relationships, and your effectiveness for my kingdom. Forgiveness is often a process, not a one-time event. You may need to forgive the same offense repeatedly as memories surface and emotions flare. Each time the pain returns, you must make the conscious choice to release it again, to refuse to pick up the burden you have laid down. This is not weakness. This is perseverance in obedience. Some wounds are so deep, some betrayals so devastating, that you cannot humanly generate the grace needed to forgive. In these cases, you must ask me to pour my forgiveness through you, allowing my supernatural grace to accomplish what your natural capacity cannot. I will give you the strength to forgive what seems unforgivable when you ask me for help. Forgiveness does not always mean reconciliation. Gratitude must be cultivated deliberately, especially during difficult seasons when thanksgiving does not come naturally. You must choose to focus on what is right rather than what is wrong, on what is working rather than what is broken, on blessings received rather than blessings denied. This is not positive thinking or denial of reality. This is choosing to see reality through the lens of my goodness and faithfulness, rather than through the lens of your circumstances. Gratitude produces tangible benefits in your life. It increases joy, reduces stress, improves physical health, strengthens relationships, enhances spiritual sensitivity, and opens your eyes to see blessings you would otherwise overlook. Grateful people are content people. They do not need more to be happy because they have learned to appreciate what they already have. They do not compare themselves to others who have more because they are focused on thanking me for what I have provided. They do not live in perpetual dissatisfaction because they have discovered the secret of being content in any and every situation. Gratitude also honors me in a way that few other responses do. When you thank me, you are acknowledging that every good and perfect gift comes from above, that you are dependent on my provision, that you recognize my involvement in your life. This pleases me and draws my attention to you in a special way. A time of great blessings is coming for your family and for you. You have kept the faith. You are still standing. I am ready to bless you. You are now qualified to receive all the things I have prepared for you. I also want your bad times to be left behind, for you to remove from yourself that feeling that you are a failure. Not like you have been. We're going to cross the ocean of your difficulty, the vast sea of your problem. Even though you see agitated seas, choppy waters, rough conditions, waves that hit you, crash over you, so big and strong, threatening, dangerous, I'm with you, in the boat, on the water, holding you. You will not sink, will not drown, will not go under. Cast off your fears, throw them overboard, release them, and think about the blessings. Focus on them. Meditate on them. You will receive when you reach your destination, when you arrive at the other shore, when you complete this journey. Like a little child trusts completely, absolutely, without question, those who love and protect them, their parents, their guardians. Remain with that feeling of confidence, that attitude, that posture, and an attitude of hope, of expectation, of anticipation. The black clouds, dark, threatening, ominous, want to hide from you the sun of your freedom. Block the light, create darkness. Keep you from the light that will illuminate you, the truth that will free you. But the heaven and the earth are mine. I made them. I own them. I control them. I am the creator of the universe. Every galaxy, every star, every planet. And my creation obeys my voice, responds to my word, submits to my command. I'm blowing new winds of restoration, fresh winds, healing winds, renewing winds. The threats of storm have gone away, departed, dispersed, dissolved. The rays of sun, warm, bright,